What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Back working on Nick's 2018 twin turbo Mustang. And so last night just started slowly just pulling some plugs. I didn't have too much time, so I really wanted to pull the plugs to see if anything was noticeable on those. So I don't run these brisk plugs, but at first I was like, man, they got some heat range on them, but these actually are the color of the brisk plugs. One of them, I think it was number 6, 7, actually 5, 6, and 7. They did have a little bit of fuel on them, so they look like they're running like a little rich. The other side doesn't look like it was running rich, but you can see these are definitely a little bit darker, especially number 6. But anyways, plugs didn't look too bad. No tips were broken off, so that's always a good sign. So I pulled those last night, and a few things I started to notice was where they tapped. I'm sure it's for the watt box, so I need to check the connections there because he has had some injector issues. So there's a couple crimps on there and some tape that's been kind of falling off, so we need to check that connection, make sure that's good. But that'd be for cylinder number 7. A couple other small issues I found. Obviously I pointed out we're going to switch all the vacuum lines, clean all that stuff up. But what's really interesting is this is for some blow by, you know, supposed to go to a catch can. And it's just a hose. It doesn't go anywhere. So that, at first I was like, maybe the hose goes somewhere and just got disconnected. It does not. And then also you look at this side and they just cut that one. Very interesting. So we'll get Nick with a proper catch can setup, because definitely on a twin turbo E85 car, it's got a decent amount of blow by. Definitely want to catch that in a tank and empty it all the time. And yeah, you just don't want that stuff spraying everywhere. So we're gonna get that removed. I've got to go empty some containers that I have of fluids so that I can start draining all his fluids. And so we'll get all his fluids drained and then start pretty much tearing everything apart. But like I said, the plugs didn't look too bad, except I was able to look down one of those cylinders, and well, I'll show you guys here in a little bit what we found in. It was cylinder 6 and cylinder 7, cylinder 5 and 6. Cylinder 5 is probably the worst that I could see. I don't have an actual borescope. I actually ordered one. It's not here yet, but we'll see if I can show you guys once the garage is open and get some more light in here, if I can show you guys down cylinder number 5, and we'll see if we can get a good look at cylinder number 6. But anyways, we are just starting to make some headway on this thing today, and so I'll catch up with you guys here in a little bit. Wouldn't be a Mustang without it hurting people. So first thing I'm gonna do before, I gotta go get more jack stands. I forgot 2 of mine are at Joe's house, and then 4 are obviously holding up the jack stand king over there, the Tang Stang. So I gotta go get some more today. So I'm gonna try and get some done before I head over to Home Depot, even though it's right down the street, because Chase is actually gonna hop over here and help me. And so I'm just gonna knock out a few things before he gets here, and then we'll go to Home Depot, get the jack stands, and then we'll get this thing jacked up and start pulling the front clip off. But I started pulling the turbo kit off. I'm gonna pull that pipe there. Vacuum line is ripped up top and didn't have a zip tie, so just a little pointer. If you guys have these slip-on ones, at least zip tie them, and then obviously make sure they're not cut. But like I said, we're gonna convert this one, I'm pretty sure, to CO2, so we can use all nice push-to-lock fittings for the vacuum lines and get rid of all that stuff. So I'm gonna continue pulling off this turbo kit and some easy to reach stuff up here, and then we'll go get some jack stands and we'll get this thing jacked up.
I would. If I was him, dude, fuck that. I'd be done. I sucked it back down inside. You're gonna have to rotate it again.
Spins freely. That water lubricated. Oh! Oh! She's a squirter! Family channel, sorry. Oh!
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn.
Blown head gasket. Nailed it.
Alright guys, so Chase and I knocked a ton out yesterday. Up top it might not look like much, but really up top all we gotta do is move the harness out of the way, pretty much unplug everything. Gotta loosen the motor mounts and then loosen the bolts from the transmission, but before that I'm gonna take the drive shaft off, that way that's out of the way. And then I'm gonna come back to start getting the harness out of the way, start zip tying some stuff off to the sides, and then I'm gonna start working on transmission bolts and motor mounts, and then we'll put the motor plate on it here in a little bit, and then we will get the engine hoist in there, and pretty much it'll be ready to go. I'm also gonna pull the turbos off, I'm pretty sure. So the only thing that sucks is, luckily it's only one side, but as you guys saw, cylinder number 5 had a ton of water in it. So the turbo on this side, I just looked under, and this is how you can tell when people live and work in the oil field, everything's dirty as hell down here. But you can see some fluids have been coming out of this side, obviously, when it probably popped the head gasket. So we'll have to get this turbo serviced for sure. And we'll check the other one, see how it spins, but it probably doesn't hurt to send them both off. But I do, if I remember correctly, Nick had these serviced at one time. He had actually sent them off, at least one of them. So if they were sent off recently, we'll probably just send this driver's side turbo off. If he hasn't, then we'll just send them both off for good measure. Since the car is going to be down for a little bit, might as well get them done anyways. So, but yeah, we're making really good progress. Like I said, Chase and I knocked a ton of stuff out yesterday. So yeah, we're gonna get the drive shaft off, put the motor plate on, get transmission bolts off or loosened, ready to go, get the motor mounts loosened up, and start moving all this junk out of the way, and then we'll get the turbos off. So this is why we're gonna redo the whole fuel system. They ran, it's either the relay wires or the power wire. I'm guessing the power wire, might be the relays because there's two of them, 2 relays. But anyways, they ran that under the car on top of the fuel line. That's let me see if I can get a better view. Focus. That was on focus. That's a bold move, Cotton. And then they just grounded it right there. I don't know about all that. So either way, we're gonna redo it. And yeah, it's gonna be super nice. And I'm not gonna run under the car. All right, moving right along. Got the turbos pulled. So you can see, obviously, there's a lot of water in there from when it blew the head gasket. So I know these are water-cooled turbos. They're not oil-cooled like typical turbos. That's what Comp Turbos sells. That's their kind of thing, is oilless turbos. But we'll probably still get them checked out anyways, because water coming out the exhaust is never a good thing. And so yeah, it's never, I mean, it never hurts to get them checked out. They spin freely, they spin pretty good, but probably send them off, get checked out. Might as well redo them. Maybe we'll talk Nick into upgrading them, because these things are tiny. I didn't realize how small these things are. So maybe we'll upgrade those. I don't know. That's up to Nick. Obviously got all the exhaust down there. It's all off. Drive shaft is chilling over there. So made some pretty good progress so far. So I think next thing I'm going to do is start to support the transmission and start working on the transmission bolts. Transmission bolts on these cars aren't bad to get to, especially these top ones once you get the manifold off. So we'll get those ones first, then start working from underneath. I do need to discharge the AC. I kind of forgot about that. Got to discharge the AC. I think we'll be able to pull it with the condenser on there. I'm not too sure. If we had to pull it off, it's not a big deal, but I definitely need to discharge it and get that freaking AC out of the way. Gosh dang, street cars in your AC. This is why my car's so easy to work on. It doesn't have any of this shit. But his is a full street car, daily driver. He likes driving it around. Thing's pretty sweet on the street. So yeah, obviously we're gonna keep the AC intact on this. He would kill me if I took that off. So yeah, but we're making pretty good progress. Not too bad. And it just started like pouring outside, so that's interesting.